Welcome everybody to our latest episode of Desert Island Movies, and today I am joined by actress, presenter, TV star, and now author no less. Woo! So here we are with Jess Impiazzi. Hello, Jess. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on. Yeah, I'm well, surviving 2020. So yeah, all is good.
Great. Well, welcome to the Desert Island, by the way. I hope you like the backdrop. It's
I wish I had a desert island.
I'll send you one. I'll send you one. You can slap it in. It's really it's really not very technical. So we're here for Desert Island Movies, and today you're going to be not only telling us about your new book, but you're also going to be telling us about the 3 movies that if you were stranded on a desert island, you would take with you. Now, being someone who follows you on social media and also knowing you for a fair while now, I think I know one of the films that's definitely coming up, because you do tend to post about a certain movie franchise on your social media feeds. So we'll get to that in a second. But yes, just to reiterate the rules, you're only allowed to pick one film from a franchise. So you can't pick, an entire franchise. So we'll just take it there. So why don't we just jump straight in, and why don't you tell me what is your first film that you would pick, Jess?
My first movie, because of my ridiculous obsession that I don't think I'll ever grow out of in a million years, is the first Harry Potter, the Philosopher's Stone. It just keeps me that magic. When the Harry Potters first came out, I was a bit younger. Not that that's made a difference in my adult life, but it was just the magic of Harry Potter. So it has to be Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
Brilliant. So are there any particular scenes in that film that you really like, or what kind, did it, because obviously you're a fan of the book, like you just said, so was seeing it on the big screen as good as reading it?
To me, it was. I know a lot of, I've reread the books recently, actually, but it just gives you get the more visual. I mean, when I'm reading, you kind of get your own visuals anyway, but it's just that added oomph to it and the magic behind it. There's so many scenes in that film that I was blown away by, just because it was so new back then, and the owls coming in when the letters will come shooting through the fireplace in the Uncle Vernon's house. It was just so magical, and it brought the books an added extra bit of life, but yeah, that whole movie just had magic throughout. That's the whole point of it, is wizard school. But they just did it so well. I think they did a really good job executing the books. I know they obviously had to cut scenes and cut characters for movie purpose, but I think they did it complete justice. And I hear some people often say they didn't, but you don't hear that often. I think the way they filmed the whole franchise, not just that movie alone, just developed everything for our visuals, and it just made it really exciting. And I just still get excited whenever I hear the theme tune to it. I'm like, oh, I can hear Harry Potter.
Because you're often on your social media, aren't you, in your Harry Potter gear? You're a Gryffindor, I believe.
I am a Gryffindor. I am. Actually, I'll tell you a fun story. When I was at theatre school, they used to pick up all the kids from theatre schools and put them in the background of Harry Potter. So I was actually in one of the Harry Potters, only as an extra, because obviously we were just taking en masse to filming. But I got to visit I was there quite a lot, actually, probably for about 2 months solid. I think it was on the 5th movie. But it was just so magical. So being there as well, I was actually in Slytherin house.
Clearly, fame isn't everything.
So can you actually see yourself on screen? Do you know where to look, or are you just...
Yeah.
Oh, do you really?
There's a few scenes. There's one on the train when Malfoy zaps Harry and knocks him out on the train, and he gets put the blanket over him, the invisibility cloak. But I'm just on that scene. You can see my head turn around past the train. And then another one is in the Weasley shop. I'm paying for my food when Ron and Hermione are here. And I actually got to talk to Daniel Radcliffe a few times on set. He was really, really nice, actually. I just sat and had a chat with me every now and then. And I was blown away by that.
Brilliant. Oh wow. So that written that now that explains the fandom a bit better. That's actually really cool. I'm actually now going to have to go back and watch the film and go.
I'll send you screenshots of it.
No, I'm going to find you first.
Popcorn's party, and you can see me. I've got a picture of that. I'll text it to you after.
Oh wow, brilliant. That's excellent. I like that. So leading on from that, because was that your first foray into being a movie extra and the movie sort of industry? Was that the first bit?
That's the only time really doing the extra thing, just because they took us from school. I wanted to be the main part. That was it for me. But it showed me what I wanted to do. So when I go to the Warner Bros. Studios every now and then to have a look around, and it just reignites that magic that I felt back then. Because as a kid to go, straight out of theatre school, it just is so exciting.
She needs to sort out her priorities.
I think it is clear that we can expect great things from you.
From that, you've gone in recently. You've been in a few movies of your own. You've got one coming out very soon, I believe.
Yeah, so they're independent films. So just getting my foot back in the door. I did a horror film, one called Retribution, which was just trying to get me back in with the crowd and get my stuff going again. And the most recent one was filmed in Los Angeles with Luke Goss and Dean Cain. You may remember from Superman.
Yeah. And Luke Goss from
though, Kimberly Wyatt. So that was great because I actually had the lead role. I was playing Rhea, which is the name of the film.
The guy who paid me, he loves you. He wants to free you from all of this.
Maybe I don't want to be saved.
So tell us about your next film. What have you chosen for your second film?
Well, actually, this is because I watch this throughout the year, even though it's predominantly a Christmas film. Well, it is a Christmas film. Home Alone. Kevin! Because the magic of that movie, again, it's anything that can ignite that kid in you, I think, that gets me excited. And Home Alone is just epic. I can watch it over and over and not get bored. Sometimes you watch a film and you're like, okay, now I'm getting a little bit bored. This one, I don't think I've ever got bored. I know it word for word practically. Wow. But I just will always keep watching it. I'm obsessed with the film. It's brilliant.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
So again, what's your favourites? Because I know a lot of people have a lot of favourite scenes in that film because it's so, like you say, what's your favourite bit? Come on.
This is my house. I have to defend it.
This is my house. I have to defend it.
Yes. But I think the whole movie throughout that, it's just scene after scene. It's brilliant. And when he's setting up the house to make sure the burglars can't get in, it's just brilliant. Even to the soundtrack, they've got it spot on. And in fact, I read up about that film, and that it was being cancelled by the network that originally had it, and then another network bought it. They had a lot of trouble trying to get it done because they went over budget, and it turned out to be one of the highest grossing films
of all time
ever. Yeah, I think they just had something special and they knew they needed to keep going, and thank God they did, because it's given me years of joy.
So were you much of the fan of the sequels? Did you like?
No, I don't really. The ones with Macaulay Culkin are best, but to me it's that original one that did it. I think when they changed the kid around, it just lost. Not because the kid wasn't good, he was, but that original one was just so epic. It was difficult to ever top that, I think.
Hello.
But yeah, no, I'm more of a die-hard Christmas movie fan. So tell us about the book Silver Linings. That's that you've just written. Being home alone probably helped you write the book, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I actually wrote that. I started off when I was in LA for 6 months. So I did the filming, and then I just had a few months I just got a divorce. So I was like, I need to just get on with something that a passion project, really. And it was just about my life and how there was like quite hard things growing up. And I wanted to write it down also as in a therapeutic way for myself, but also show people how you can pull the good out of bad things, because we always see it as, it can be seen as a negative if we've gone through bad things, but actually sometimes it can turn you into a person that you would never have been without them things happening in the first place. So I wanted to call it Silver Linings, and I wanted every chapter to be about some hardship that everyone in their life has some hardship, and I just had a lot in a young age, so I wanted to write it all down and talk about how to heal from those things as well, because a lot of us suppress things and it comes out in other ways, like depression, anxiety, and I wanted to show how you can use that actually to pull the positives rather than having the negatives and change your life around. And that's kind of the basis of the book, and I wanted people to know me a bit better, the real me, what had happened throughout life, and then see how anyone can get through anything. And I wanted younger people or older people to be able to read that, relate, and actually think, actually I can do that as well, because I went through a completely depressive stage from what had gone on, because I didn't know anything else but kind of scaredness, really. I was terrified all the time from a young age. I had PTSD that I was unaware of, so when you don't know that you have these things, it's really hard to change your life around. So by writing the book, not only was it therapy for me, but I'm hoping that even if it helps one person overcome something or pull things and change it around, that would be a win for me. So it's basically a book of finding the positives and getting through stuff.
So you say you started writing the book out in LA and stuff. Was it just something you thought, you know what, I'm actually just going to write? Or was it somebody that said to you, you should write that down? Or, did your agent go, let's write a book? No,
it was something I'd wanted to do for years, but I called myself old Jess, because back in the day I wasn't really aware of myself. I was aware of what had happened in my life, and I probably was in a bit of victim mode for a long, long time. So you can't see, and when you're unaware of yourself, you can't really pull the positives out of that, because you're stuck in a bit of a rut. And it wasn't until I started changing my life and doing things differently to get different outcomes that I became aware of my thoughts and aware of who I was and aware of how that didn't need to define me. And so I knew I could write, because as a kid I used to love writing. Along with my acting, I'd always sit and write little books and stuff. And it's something I started about 5 years ago, but I just did like little bits of chapters and just put it away, because I was like, well, this is not, it's just like depressing to read. Like, God, if I read that, I'd be like, oh God, I need to go sit at a happy place for an hour. So it wasn't until I really fixed who I was inside that I was able to write a book that actually was meaningful and also helpful, rather than just, my life is terrible, this is awful. I didn't want that book, but I was aware enough at that point to know that wasn't how it was going to be. So it took me a good 5 years to come back to it, to understand how I wanted it written and be proud of what it was and the meaning behind it.
So obviously you're quite pleased with how it's turned out. It's a kind of a stupid question, but are you looking forward to its release? I know it can be quite nerve-wracking going, but are you personally obviously quite proud of what you've done?
Yeah, I'm super proud of it. It is nerve-wracking, because it's like, that my innermost thoughts and things that people don't know about my life, that it involves family, it involves friends, and there's things that are where I've disrespected myself at times, and I've been really open and honest about these things, and it is a bit nerve-wracking, but I think my drive to better myself and hopefully help other people push that aside. So I am a bit anxious about it, but at the same time the positive outweighs any of the negative.
Yeah, absolutely. So what actual date is it coming out on? So
it was due on the 5th of November, but unfortunately because of COVID everything got pushed back, so the printing houses were backed up, but it's not too long now, it's less than 2 weeks.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so you can read the book, then watch Home Alone.
Exactly. A bit Harry Potter after that.
And a bit of Harry Potter after that. So talking about those two films, we better get to your third one. So what is your third choice?
My third choice is, because again I was obsessed with this as a child, and it's probably I don't normally go for a love story, but this one, I'm obsessed with the main actress. I'm absolutely obsessed with her, and I have been since I was a child. She's my idol, Julia Roberts, and the film is Pretty Woman.
So you're a big Julia Roberts fan then? I thought you were going to say you're a big Richard Gere fan for a minute then.
No, for me it was always Julia Roberts. My two favourite actresses. Well, my favourite actress is Julia Roberts. My favourite actor is David Jason. So very good to the spectrum. But yeah, Julia Roberts. I just think anything she does, she lightens up the screen. You couldn't imagine another actress other than Julia Roberts as Pretty Woman. I don't think it would have worked how it did. She was just phenomenal, and I think the whole it's a Cinderella story as such, isn't it? Maybe a bit more of a messed up version of it, but it's a Cinderella
contemporary.
Yeah, I think that film just, it made every woman, I think, be like, oh, love like that. You know, it was that hope, that the dreams. I just think she, not just her, I think every person cast in that movie was absolutely spot on. The casting director did one phenomenal job.
Well done!
Yeah, that whole film is brilliant. So what any in particular scenes there? Is it
God, all of it, when he comes up with, and this probably is everyone's, you know what I'm going to say already.
Romeo and Juliet ending, up the balcony.
It's and you know what? Another one, when she gets refused from the clothing shop, and another classic scene that everyone knows. It's like when she goes back in with all her stuff on. It's like, big mistake, huge. You know, everyone uses these quotes all the time, and you see it in memes popping up all the time because they're just such classic films.
Hi. Hello. Do you remember me? No, I'm sorry. I was in here yesterday. You wouldn't wait on me? Oh. You work on commission, right? Yes. Big mistake. Big. Huge. I have to go shopping now.
So have you ever done it? Done the big mistake, huge, to anybody?
I think that's a joke to my friends. I need to hold that one for something real. When I do it seriously, that needs to be held for something really big. When you know, when someone's done you over or broken your heart, and then you go to smash your life even better and do well, and it's like, big mistake, huge. It would be phenomenal, wouldn't it?
That would be absolutely awesome. So also now, you're also now doing a YouTube series, Lunch with Jess. So I'm awaiting my invite, by the way, for one of the for the next season. So tell us about that. Tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, it's just a conversational type interview, really, with anyone that's got positive, empowering stories. So we've had quite a lot of actors in. We've had Callie Best from Blue Story and EastEnders. We had a nutritionist called Sasha Paul who started off in the entertainment industry, but she was a dancer. She got sick. She ended up with anorexia, and she now has a nutritional company where she helps others through something that was actually negative in her life. Again, like the silver linings kind of story. She's got a problem but turned it around to help others, and it helped herself in the meantime. And you know, I love hearing stories like that where you use something that was negative and pull out the positive, and you can change other people's lives. So we had her on. It was a great conversation. We've had Alex Murphy from Dancing on Ice, and she had suffered a stroke, and she's only young. I think it was when she was in her mid-20s. So all these people that have had a lovely story and still managed to pull some greatness out of these hardships, or you know, just showing mindsets. I think that was so important to me, showing mindsets of things that if you change yourself, you can actually create whatever you want. And it was empowering for me to be able to talk to people like this, because it's the mindset I'm trying to create daily and always am working on. I wanted to be able to share through Lunch with Jess the stories of everyone else that were like-minded, and it actually that's how I managed to change my mind, by watching other people and how they change their lives around. So for getting to host a show where that's the forefront of the conversation was a really exciting thing to do.
That's really cool. And everybody can watch that now on YouTube, can't they? Is it? Yes. Is it your YouTube channel, or is it under?
No, it's Inside Track. Track with no C, just a K.
Right, and if they just search Lunch with Jess, they'll probably find it, won't they? Or if they just go to your social media, which they should follow you on, you'll post all the links there, of course, as well. So finally, you're only as well as watching your films, you've got to listen to some music. So what's your soundtrack you've chosen?
It's so hard between two, because you know what they're going to be. One is the Harry Potter theme track, but then the other one is King of Wishful Thinking in Pretty Woman.
Okay.
Because whenever anyone goes through a breakup, that song's like, oh yeah, put it on the car, drive along, and it's just a great empowering song. So I can't pick between them two. You're gonna have to do it for me.
We should get ready to vote, which you should have, I think, actually, in a poll. That'd be more entertaining. If I was going to choose, I would probably go with the King of Wishful Thinking. Motivate you to get off the island or figure out, getting rescued.
This is true. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit there trying to get my wand out, hoping someone's going to save me. So, King of Wishful Thinking, I keep wishing and doing.
Chop down some trees, and make yourself a little boat. That'd be perfect. Well, that's been fantastic. Thank you for all your films. Have you got anything else you'd like to say to however many people are watching?
Just thank you so much for having me on, and I hope that my movie choices haven't annoyed anyone, and they all think they're great as well as I do.
Of course they will. So once again, tell us about the book again. When's it out, and where can they get it from?
Yeah, Silver Linings up 26th of November 2020. What a year! And yeah, it can be bought in WH Smith's, Waterstones, Foyles, Amazon, or directly from my publishing house, which is #press. So yeah, it's ready to go, and you can all pre-order it now anyway.
And the links will all be down there below in the thing. And then after you've done that, make sure you subscribe, please, as well. That'd be really helpful. Anyway, so thank you very much, Jess, and good luck with the book. Good luck with the YouTube stuff and the acting and just about everything else you're doing at the moment. And stay safe, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
No worries. Bye.